The door sealed shut behind them with a loud hiss. The lights inside the chamber dimmed into a deep red glow. The room suddenly felt much smaller. The human, named Cole, looked around the metal walls and blinking control panels. "That wasn't supposed to happen," he muttered, tapping on his comlink. It was dead. Across the chamber stood a young alien woman. Her skin shimmered with faint blue light, and her large eyes locked on his. She looked nervous. No, terrified. Then she whispered, almost like she was warning him, You know this room is made for mating trials, right?" Cole blinked. "Wait, what?" The alien girl stepped back, pressing her back against the wall. "This chamber is used to test bond compatibility," she said, "between different species. Usually for arranged breeding matches, you didn't know." Cole laughed nervously. "I'm an engineer. Was only supposed to check the heat sensors." The red lights pulsed overhead. A soft hum started, and the floor vibrated under their feet. Then the temperature began to climb. She hugged herself, her breathing already changing. Her skin flushed a warmer shade. No, this isn't good," she whispered. Cole noticed her shiver, even though it was getting hot. "Are you okay?" The alien girl nodded quickly but lied. Her name was Selah. Her people were from the planet Nithex, where emotions and body chemistry responded strongly to environmental cues, especially warmth. That triggered something deeper. Selah looked at Cole. His scent, his voice, his nearness. It was already making her body react in ways she couldn't control. The heat inside the room rose another notch. Her legs weakened. She let out a soft moan and covered her mouth. "Embarrassed? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to." "It's starting," Cole asked, confused. "My body thinks this is a real trial," she whispered. "It's preparing for bonding." "What bonding?" Cole stepped back, alarmed now. We didn't. "I know," she snapped, her voice breaking. "But this room, the heat, the sensors, it's made to trick our bodies. The match is right, the chamber activates the next stage." Cole looked around quickly, trying to find a way to open the door. "How long until the system resets?" 3 hours, she said, her eyes full of panic now. 3 hours in this sealed chamber, with rising heat, red lights, and moaning. Softly again. Cole turned away, flustered. "Okay, I'll figure something out. Just try to stay calm." "I can't," she said, her voice trembling. "It's not about calm anymore. My body is responding. It's not under my control." Cole wiped sweat from his forehead. The room was already above 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Selah's breathing grew heavier. Her body, built for cooler environments, was starting to overheat. He could hear her soft whimpers, not of desire, of discomfort, but her body reacted like she was in pleasure. It was the worst part for her. It's like, "I'm burning from the inside," she whispered, leaning against the wall. Her eyes flickered with glowing light. Cole turned back to her. She looked helpless. "I'm not trying to seduce you," she said quietly. "This reaction, it's what my people fear. That our instincts will take over. And if I bond now, it will be permanent." "Bond?" Cole asked again, more seriously this time. She nodded, her lips trembling. "A chemical imprint. One time is enough. It marks you as mine, forever." He took a step forward, gently. "Then we don't let that happen. I'll find a way to cool the system." Selah laughed bitterly. "Even standing that close is making it worse." But Cole didn't move back. He looked into her eyes, not with desire, but concern. "Then let me help," he said. "I'm not going to leave you suffering in here." Her breath hitched. She reached out and barely touched his chest. A spark passed between them. She gasped and let out another moan, louder this time. One that echoed in the chamber. Cole froze. Her skin began to glow again, brighter this time. Her legs gave out. He caught her before she fell. "I didn't mean to do that," she whispered. "But if you don't stop, my body might imprint you as my mate." And then the chamber lights shifted again, red pulsing to purple. The next stage had activated. Cole's hands trembled as he lowered Selah gently to the floor. Her body almost too hot to touch. She was breathing heavily, glowing softly under. the purple lighting now filling the chamber. He glanced around again, desperate for any override switch, any emergency hatch, but there was nothing. The chamber was locked for a full cycle. "Stay with me," he whispered. Her hand gripped his shirt. "You shouldn't touch me. Not when I'm like this." He backed off a little, but it was too late. The chamber's sensors had already detected chemical changes, pheromones, rising heart rates, synchronized breathing. The system believed the trial was real. It had entered stage 2. Sayla's voice cracked. "Stage 2 means your body is being invited to match mine." "What does that mean?" Cole asked, struggling to keep his voice steady. Her head turned slightly toward him. "It means if you react, if you return the signals, it will begin the bonding path. There's no stopping it after that." He looked at his hands. His arms were prickling, his heart pounding faster. The heat, her presence, even her voice, he could feel his own body responding in ways he hadn't felt before. But this wasn't about attraction. It was something deeper, primal, biological. "I'm just trying to keep you alive," he said. Her lip quivered. "I know. That's what's dangerous." Cole stepped away to the far side of the chamber and tried to pull off a wall panel. Wires sparked. Nothing responded. Whatever had started, it was being protected. Controlled? Observed? A strange thought crept into his mind. What if they weren't alone? Somewhere deep in the ship's old systems, was there a hidden AI watching them? Studying compatibility between human and Nyaxi? Testing boundaries? The light shifted again. Softer, now almost romantic. The chamber's temperature had stabilized, but a low mist began to drift from the floor vents. Sayla's body arched slightly, reacting. "This mist, it's meant to lower resistance," she whispered, her voice hoarse. "Makes us accept the bond easier." Cole dropped to his knees beside her, careful not to touch her skin. "Tell me what to do." She looked at him with eyes full of pain and longing. "You can't stop it now. The system thinks we've both accepted, but I haven't. You didn't say no. You didn't pull away fast enough. Your heart rate matched mine." He stared at her, stunned. Sayla closed her eyes, a single tear sliding down her cheek. "I tried to warn you, but now it's locked in." Suddenly, a soft chime rang from above. The ceiling glowed with a pattern of lights, 2 figures circling one another. A voice spoke in alien tongue, and Sayla translated between gasps. "It's..." started imprinting. "Your name. My name. We're being bound in the chamber's memory. It's making us permanent." Cole cursed under his breath. He hadn't signed up for this. He just wanted to test the damn heat sensors. And now? A woman was possibly binding her soul to his, without truly knowing either of them had a choice. "I'll find a way out," he muttered, standing. "You'll only trigger the next stage if you move too far," she warned. He froze. Sayla sat up with effort, her body shaking. "There's one way to pause the process." He leaned in. "How?" "You have to release a controlled breath. Over my skin. Tells the system you're cooling the bond instead of completing it." He frowned. "Breath." She pointed to her neck, the side that glowed faintly. "Here, just here, one slow breath." Cole moved carefully, his breath trembling. His face was inches from hers. He could feel her heat, her scent, her fear, abstilled, slowly over the spot. Her body shivered, then went still, the light in her. Skin dimmed. The chamber paused. Soft tone confirmed the stas. She collapsed against him. It worked. Just for a few minutes. Cole held her, stunned. Why does this room even exist? She swallowed. Old treaties, cross-species unions. This was a lab, then it became a breeding facility, then it was forgotten, till now, a few minutes. That's all they had. Cole looked at her closely. Her breathing was soft now. Her skin still carried his breath. "Why were you even near this chamber?" he asked. Her eyes fluttered. "I came to test my control, see if I could resist. I failed. But I didn't even mean to be here." She smiled faintly. "What makes the bond real?" Suddenly the purple lights flared. The system had restarted. "Time's up," Selah whispered. Either we complete it or fight what's already begun. Cole knew one thing: whatever happened next, their lives were no longer separate, and something inside him, deep and ancient, was no longer human. Asterisk, the glow from Selah's skin began to pulse again, soft at first, then brighter, like a heartbeat just beneath the surface. Cole's eyes adjusted to the purple shimmer of the chamber. But what unsettled him wasn't the light. It was the way he felt inside. Something had shifted, not just in the air or in the temperature, but in him. His skin tingled with a strange energy, and his chest was tight, like his heart was no longer beating alone. Selah leaned forward slowly, her breath shaky. Her voice was soft but sharp. I can feel it, Cole. You've been marked. He swallowed, backing up an inch. No, I didn't agree to this. You didn't have to. The bond chose for you. It's not how it's supposed to work, he snapped, frustration rising. People choose each other, not some damn machine. She didn't argue. She looked down, almost ashamed. My kind once believed the same. But when emotions and instincts mix with ancient systems, we don't always get a choice. Cole paced across the chamber, careful not to get too close again. Right. The lights above changed again, pulsing in rhythm with their heartbeats. He could feel it now. Every time she exhaled, his body responded, as if their biology was sinking more, and more by the second. I need to find a way out, he muttered. You're not hearing me, Cole, she said, standing slowly, gripping the wall for balance. You can't run from it anymore. The moment you breathed on me. The system recognized compatibility. It only needed one sign. What happens if we don't finish it? He asked, trying to stay calm. She looked at him with eyes full of something deeper than fear. Our nervous systems will start to crash. One or both of us could seize. Or worse. His eyes widened. You're saying this bond can kill us? If it interrupted after stage 2? Yes. The system assumes. It failed. It starts to purge the signal. Your body will fight the process like it's a virus. And yours? I'll collapse into fever. My organs could start shutting down. I've seen it before. Cole turned away, pressing his hands to his head. This is insane. A damn tech engineer. I came here to fix a circuit board. And now you're telling me I'm either your mate or your executioner? Silence. He turned to see Selah slowly walking toward him. Her steps were shaky, but her eyes locked onto his. I didn't ask for this either. I thought I could resist it. But it wasn't just my reaction this time, Cole. It was yours too. I didn't mean to react, but you did. Her voice was steady now. She stopped just inches from him. I felt your body reach for mine when I fell, she whispered. I felt your breath on my skin, when your heartbeat aligned with mine. You don't fake that. Cole clenched his fists, torn between reason and instinct. So what? We just give in. Let some ancient machine decide our lives. No, she said, we make it ours. She reached up, not to touch him, but to offer her hand, palm open. If we finish the bond by choice, it's not a sentence. It becomes something real. He stared at her hand. The chamber around them felt smaller now, like it was holding its breath. He didn't move. But his hand, almost on its own, lifted and hovered above hers, just before they touched. A loud beep echoed across the room. Hidden panel on the far wall blinked to life. Lines of text in both alien and human script scrolled across a translucent screen. External interference detected. Genetic profile. Expanding. Cole narrowed his eyes. What does that mean? The panel responded with a soft hum. Then a recorded voice filled the chamber. Old, deep, emotionless. Welcome. Hybrid seed carrier. Trial successful. Activating. Genetic memory protocol. Selah stepped back, stunned. That's not part of the bond protocol. Cole felt his skin burn slightly, like something beneath the surface was changing. He gasped, grabbing his wrist. Strange symbols were faintly glowing just below the skin. Selah, he breathed. What's happening to me? She stared at his arm, her face pale. You're carrying a dormant genome. Nithexy human. Hybrid code. It shouldn't exist. It's been extinct for centuries. The chamber pulsed. A wave of warmth flowed through them, more intense than anything before. Cole dropped to one knee, vision spinning, and then he saw something. A vision or memory. Not his own. A battlefield. Alien skies. A Nithexy woman crying over a dying human man, her body glowing just like Sayla's. She whispered, "Even death can't break this bond." The vision vanished. Cole gasped. Sayla was suddenly kneeling beside him, holding his face gently. "That wasn't your imagination. You saw the past." "I saw us." "No," she said. "You saw who you might become." Then the chamber lights turned blue. Stage 3 had begun. And now, it wasn't just about survival, it was about destiny. Asterisk, the moment the chamber lights turned deep blue, something primal shifted between them. Cole could feel his heartbeat thundering in his ears, but it wasn't just his own. It was synchronized with hers. Sayla's eyes shimmered like glass-catching starlight, glowing brighter as she whispered, "Stage 3 is the imprint phase. There's no turning back now." Room's air thickened with strange pulses every few seconds. The walls themselves seemed to breathe. The temperature dropped slightly, but an invisible pressure filled the space, like they were inside the lungs of something ancient and alive. Cole's knees gave out. He wasn't hurt, but he was overwhelmed. Visions still lingered at the edges of his mind. That battlefield. The woman. The death. And the mark burning faintly under his skin. He held his arm up. Runes glowed in soft blue lines across his forearm, forming a pattern that pulsed in sync with the chamber's heartbeat. He looked up at Sayla. "This isn't just science. This is something older, deeper." She nodded. Slowly, voice almost a whisper. "The ancestors of my kind once bonded with early human explorers, but they were lost in the Great Collapse. We thought the hybrid bloodline was gone." "I'm not part alien," Cole said, almost laughing. "You are now," she replied, stepping closer. Then the chamber responded again. A circle lit up beneath their feet, lines of ancient script spiraling outward like a seal. All the walls displayed flashes of alien couples, some Nithexy, some human, all locked in moments of powerful union, their bodies glowing with the same energy now building around Cole and Sayla. He felt the pressure increase, then suddenly stop. The silence was deafening. Then a single line appeared in the air between them. Consent must be offered and received for the final merging. Cole stood slowly, his voice dry. "So after all this, we still get to choose?" Sayla's eyes filled with something more than he'd hope. "Yes, if we walk into the circle willingly, it finishes the imprint, permanently. Our minds, bodies, even our DNA connected for life." He stared at the glowing ring on the floor. "And if we don't, the system will collapse the bond. You'll lose the vision, the symbols will fade, and I won't survive the fallback." Cole's head snapped toward her. "What?" Sayla's voice broke. "The process has gone too far. If it's interrupted now, the energy will turn on. It will treat my body like it failed the union. It will begin, unmaking me." His stomach twisted. "That's insane." "It was designed to ensure loyalty. A forced reset means destruction." Cole stepped back in disbelief. His whole life had been numbers, circuits, engines. And now, here he was, in a room that didn't care about rules, only instincts. Only bonds. "You barely know me," he said, voice shaking. "How can you even want this?" She looked at him, lips trembling. "It's not about want anymore. I'm not asking you to love me. I'm asking you to live with me, survive with me, become something beyond both of us." Her words echoed in the chamber like a heartbeat. The air shimmered. The circle on the floor brightened. The bond was waiting. Cole stood at the edge. "If I do this, we're one." She stepped beside him, not lost, just linked. "You'll still be you. I'll still be me. But we'll carry each other inside." Thought about the battlefield vision? The woman? The dying man? The tears she shed when he died? And the way her glow stayed? Even after he stepped into the circle, so did she. Instantly, a ring of light rose around them, covering them like a vertical halo. Energy flowed down their bodies, wrapping them in glowing script. Selah gasped, her hand reaching for his. He took it. Their palms met, and the chamber exploded in blue-white light. Images poured into Cole's mind, Selah's childhood, her first flight, the pain of losing her sister, the shame she carried for being too reactive. He felt it all. Not in words, but in sensation. In emotion, she felt his too, the lonely outpost days. The loss of his crew in the solar flare incident, the way he kept pretending he didn't need connection. They stood, locked in light, their bodies levitating inches off the ground. Cole couldn't breathe, but he didn't need to. The system wasn't hurting them now. It was completing them. Then it all faded. The lights dimmed. The ring lowered. The pressure lifted. And Cole opened his eyes, feeling different. Selah stood across from him, her hair drifting in the soft blue air, her skin glowing gently. She looked at him and smiled. Not in triumph. Not in lust. In understanding. "Welcome back," she said softly. "Hybrid." Cole breathed deeply, the mark on his arm still pulsing. But now it didn't burn. It felt like home. And outside the sealed chamber, the ship's sensors quietly sent a message through. Encrypted protocols to an unknown receiver. Genetic key recovered. Imprint successful. Hybrid activated. Something ancient had awakened, and it knew the bond had returned. Asterisk, the chamber was still now. No humming, no pulsing lights, no heat waves or mist. Just silence, thick and complete, like the world was holding its breath. Cole stood barefoot on the cool floor, his body coated in a fine layer of bioluminescent dust, the last trace of the merging. Every breath he took felt deeper, fuller, like his lungs were made new. His senses were heightened. He could hear the faint thrum of blood in his ears, the quiet shifting of Selah's breath across the room, even the soft buzz of energy that still lingered in the metal beneath his feet. And Selah, she was watching him, not with lust, not with fear. "You feel it too, don't you?" she whispered. Cole nodded, unable to find the words. Something inside him had changed. Not just the faint symbols still glowing on his arm, not just the fragments of her memory swimming behind his eyes, but something core, something fundamental, like a missing piece had been slid into place. "I don't even know how to describe it," he finally said. "You don't have to," she said, stepping closer. "I already know that was the strangest part." He believed her. It wasn't just that they'd shared a vision. It was more he felt her feelings, the tension behind her smile, the pride beneath her breath, even the flicker of panic she tried to bury as she neared him. It wasn't overwhelming, but it was there. A presence, a tether. "We're connected," he muttered. She smiled softly. "Not just that. We're synchronized. Your biology and mine have formed a new pattern, something neither species has seen in generations." He looked down at the runes etched into his skin. They were fading, but only slightly. "Why me?" Selah's smile faded. "Because the bond was never supposed to die. Your kind. Mine. We were meant to build something together. Once, long ago." He frowned. "Then why did it stop?" Her eyes dropped. "Because we broke it. My people tried to force the bond on unwilling humans. Your ancestors fought back. It was blood and betrayal and silence. We were told the genes were lost forever, and now you were proof they weren't." A quiet beep interrupted them. A hidden panel on the chamber wall hissed and slid open. Inside was a small platform, and on it a glowing silver orb. It floated slightly, pulsing softly. Cole stepped forward. "What is that?" Selah stared at it, eyes wide. "I've only seen it in records. That's a seed core." "A what?" She turned to him, her voice reverent. "It's part memory storage, part communication device, and part biological key. When a successful hybrid bond is formed, the seed core activates and begins unlocking ancient technology left behind by the first colonizers." Cole raised an eyebrow. "What kind of technology?" She hesitated. Starships, weapon systems, terraformers, things even my people don't fully understand. Things only a bonded pair, one legacy and one human, can control together. He let that sink in. So you're saying we just unlocked a super weapon? It's not a weapon, she corrected. A legacy. The orb pulsed again, and this time it projected a series of star maps midair. A dozen coordinates blinked in a spiral pattern. One was flashing red. That one's close, Sayla whispered. It's less than a jump away. Before Cole could respond, the ship jolted suddenly. The lights flickered. The chamber rumbled. What was that? He asked, already moving toward the panel. Another jolt. This time, a voice echoed through the overhead coms, in a language Cole didn't recognize. But Sayla froze the moment she heard it. That's not from this ship, she said slowly. The orb spun faster, glowing white now. A new message appeared in the air. Bond confirmed. Coordinates locked. Legacy purifiers. En route. Sayla's voice dropped to a whisper. Oh no. What? Cole turned to her. What does that mean? She turned, eyes sharp with sudden fear. They're coming to destroy us? Why? We completed the bond. Exactly, that's why they're coming. The orb flickered again, showing a massive ship entering their star system, dark, angular, terrifying. Sayla backed away, panic rising. That's a Purifier-class warship. The old council sent them centuries ago to wipe out failed hybrids, or rogue ones. But we're not rogue. To them we are. So they didn't want the bond to return. They buried it. You activating the seed core just woke up a war they hoped would stay forgotten. The chamber doors finally hissed open. Outside, the station was in red alert. Alarms flashed. Crew members ran in all directions. But Cole and Sayla stood still. She looked at him, heart in her throat. They're not coming to capture us, Cole. They're coming to erase us. You, me, the legacy. He stared at her. Then he looked down at the orb. Then he made a choice. He grabbed the seed core. Without hesitation, said, Then let's show them what a legacy really looks like. Behind them, the chamber pulsed once more, a final echo. Of the bond that had changed everything, and far above them, the stars began to shift. The sirens outside screamed louder. The floor of the station shook again, this time with purpose, not a tremor, but the tremble of something massive approaching from above. Every metal wall and pipe in the hallway buzzed with pressure. Something colossal had locked onto the station, and it was preparing to descend. Cole didn't flinch. He held the glowing seed core tightly in his left hand, feeling it vibrate with strange life. It was warm, almost alive, and it seemed to pulse faster as danger drew closer. Sayla was by his side now, her stride steady despite the chaos. Her expression sharp and focused. They weren't just bonded anymore, they were hunted as they moved through the corridor. Other crew members, both human and alien, glanced their way, then looked twice. Whispers followed them, eyes widened. Some even stopped mid-run to watch. It wasn't just because of the orb glowing in Cole's hand. It was the glow beneath their skin. His veins now shimmered with a pale blue under the surface. Her body responded to it with a quiet golden hum. The merged biology was broadcasting a signal, not just to each other, but to every system on this ship. And somewhere above them, a Purifier warship had picked up the same signal, and it had no intention of letting them live. We need to reach the command deck, Sayla said. There's a long-range escape module. One jump drive. No escort, but it's fast. And then what? Cole asked. They'll follow us. They'll try, she said. But they won't expect what's hidden at that red blinking coordinate from the seed core. He remembered the star map from the chamber. That one location had glowed like a heartbeat, a call, or a beacon, the same beacon that might have brought the purifiers as they reached the lift shaft. The ceiling suddenly cracked with a deafening boom. The ship groaned like an injured beast. A sharp red light filled the air, not warning lights. This time, but weapon tracking beams. The purifier had begun targeting sections of the station. Cole ducked as the floor jolted beneath them again. Sparks flew from the control panel. Sayla grabbed his wrist and pulled him back. Forget the lift, she said. We climb. They ran to the maintenance ladder built into the wall, a narrow escape shaft used only in emergencies. Cole threw the hatch open. Heat rushed down the shaft, not from fire, but from weapons fire nearby. The upper decks were already taking damage. He looked back at her. "Can you climb?" "I'll climb if you don't slow me down," she snapped. Smirking, they started up. Step by step, the tremors increased. Once the whole shaft rocked sideways, Cole nearly slipped, but Selah caught his arm. Her fingers were warm, strong, pulsing with energy. They reached Deck A. The hatch was half-sealed. Emergency lockdown protocol. Cole planted his foot against the wall and shoved with all his strength. It gave way, just enough. He squeezed. Through pulled Selah behind him, and together they dropped into the darkened control hallway. The escape pod bay was ahead, and already in lockdown, but the lights flickered again as they stepped closer. Then, a miracle, the door hissed open. Cole stopped. He didn't touch anything. "It opened for us," he said slowly. Selah stepped past him, staring at the door. It recognizes the hybrid bond. Inside the pod was a two-seat cockpit, small, fast and sleek, old tech but sturdy. The kind built to flee when everything else was falling apart. They jumped in. Selah took the co-pilot controls. Cole slid the seed core into the console socket. The ship lit up immediately. Lights danced across the panels in languages neither of them fully understood, but the system understood them. Engines roared. The station rocked again, this time with a direct hit. Entire section above them blinked out of power. Launch. "Now," Selah shouted. Cole slammed the thruster panel. The pod shot out of the docking bay like a bullet. Behind them, station crumbled in pieces. Ahead, stars stretched and blurred as the jump drive charged. But then, something unexpected. The seed core flared white-hot, and the pod vanished not into hyperspace, not into regular jump space. It slipped sideways, through a crack in reality. Inside the cockpit, time bent. Cole gripped the sides of his seat as the walls around them shimmered like water. He wasn't moving through space. He was moving through memory, his Selah's, and thousands of others. Flashes of lives, past bonds, fallen civilizations, ancient ships lost in time. He saw a memory of Earth's first hybrid ship being swallowed by a black sun, a Nithixie queen, mourning her unborn child, human pilot screaming as he sacrificed himself to protect a forgotten planet. Then silence. The pod landed softly. Outside the window was no starfield, no space. It was a hangar, massive, dark, full of dust and ancient symbols. Towering ships floated quietly, dormant. Hundreds of them, Saw gasped. "No," Cole turned to her. "What is this place?" she whispered. This is the vault." He stepped out of the pod, his feet touching metal not walked on before. Centuries, all around him. Ancient ships stirred, reacting to his presence. The seed core had led them here, to the hidden fleet of the first hybrids. And now, they were awake. The vault was not silent anymore. The air itself seemed to vibrate as if exhaling after centuries of breathless waiting. The walls black stone wrapped in sleek alien alloyware, covered in dormant energy lines, like veins waiting for blood. As Cole stepped forward, those lines flared softly beneath his boots, pulsing in rhythm with the mark on his arm. One by one, the ships that had been still for ages began to stir. Their hulls shimmered. Ancient systems coming to life. Blue engines, warmed to gold. Holograms blinked awake, and above them all, on the far wall of the vault, an ancient crest burned into view. Two hands. One human, one Nithixie, bound at the wrist by glowing strands. Selah stood frozen beside the pod. Her voice shook. This place was only a myth. We never believed it was real. Cole turned toward her, and yet here we are. Stepped deeper into the hangar together, their presence unlocking lights and pathways in every direction. The seed core, still glowing in Cole's palm, projected a circular interface into the air. A map. A network. A sleeping army of lost ships and systems, scattered across space, all waiting for a key, and the key was them. A soft chime echoed. From deeper inside the hangar, then another. One by one, systems across the vault began reporting in. Hybrid presence confirmed. Biosignature verified. Command access restored. Cole looked up as one of the larger ships towering above all others lit up from within. Its wings extended slowly. Its weapons adjusted and locked with a mechanical hum. Then its onboard AI spoke. "Welcome, bonded pair. You have awakened the legacy of the First Alliance." Sayla's eyes were wide with disbelief. These ships, they were built with combined technology, human innovation, nithexy, adaptation, but they were hidden during the schism. "And now they're ours," Cole said, his voice steady. But even as the lights flickered with welcome, the seed core pulsed again, this time with urgency. A red mark blinked on the map. Just outside the vault's location, the purifier had followed. It hadn't needed jump coordinates. It had locked onto the hybrid signal again. "They're coming," Sayla said, stepping forward. "They won't stop. Until we're erased. Until this place is dust." Cole nodded. "Then we don't run." He stepped into the ship's uplink console and placed his hand against it. The runes on his arm flared. The ship's AI responded instantly. "Command integration complete. Awaiting co-pilot." Sayla placed her palm beside his. The interface glowed. The ship's systems came to life, fully known engines. Shields, weapons, comes. Bonded pair command activated. Voice and neural override enabled. Armament unlocked. As the vault opened above them, the other ships, dozens of them, began to lift silently from their resting places. One by one, they hovered. Ready. Cole took the pilot's seat. Sayla sat beside him, her fingers moving across glowing nithexy keys like she'd known them all her life. In front of them, massive doors split open, revealing the stars, and just beyond the asteroid belt, the purifier. Its dark hull blotted out the light of a nearby sun, spikes gleaming along its body like 1,000 knives. Cole stared at it. That ship could wipe out cities. Sayla leaned forward. "It won't wipe out us." They launched. Vault's ancient fleet followed as they burst from the asteroid shadows. The purifier fired first beams of red plasma streaking toward them, but the hybrid ship responded on its own shields, bending the blasts, dispersing them like mist. Cole didn't even need to steer. The ship moved with him, like it could feel his thoughts. Sayla gasped. "It's reading our instincts." She pressed a symbol on the side panel in old command. Buried in memory, suddenly the fleet behind them scattered into formation, elegant, the perfect, like dancers in space. The purifier turned its full arsenal toward them. Cole looked at Sayla. "Ready to end this?" She grinned, her eyes glowing bright. Together, they flew straight at the monster's ship, weaving through its fire like a storm. Their ship opened ports on its side, releasing a barrage of light pulse missiles. Old weapons of the first hybrid war. Reborn. Each missile struck with surgical precision, crippling the purifier's weapons, peeling back its armor, disabling its engines, but still. It loomed. The final blow had to be more than power. It had to be history. The seed core floated between them, reacting to the moment. Sayla reached for it, and it merged into the console. The ship's AI spoke again, louder now, ancient and proud. "Legacy protocol. Last light. Fusion strike armed. Require bonded pair consent." Cole reached across the panel. Sayla met his hand. "Halfway? Consent granted," they said in unison. The ship glowed white-hot, collecting all remaining energy. The entire vault fleet moved behind them, directing their residual power into one point into them, and then the strike launched. It wasn't just light, it was memory. The beam cut through space like a blade, silent and pure, burning straight through the purifier, not with explosion but with transformation. The dark ship cracked, its systems overwritten. Its own AI halted, its weapons silenced. Then the wreckage turned cold. Dead, they single quotes, dead. Erased its purpose. The vault had returned. The hybrid bond had been reborn. No one, not even ancient ghosts, could stop what came next. as their ship floated in silence above the battlefield. Selah leaned her head against Cole's shoulder. He looked down at the glowing lines in his suede, skin still pulsing gently. Was this fate? He asked. No, she said. This was choice. And somewhere far away, across space and time, the old universe stirred. Because two hearts, one human, one alien, had remembered how to beat. As one,